And welcome to another episode of the Convoluted Podcast. It's your host, Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus. And we got another guest this week from the realm of Reddit. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
So my name is Jeremy Boyd. I run a YouTube channel called Polyphonic Press, where I review like classic albums and talk about music that I like.
Cool. So after I saw your posting on Reddit the other day, I kind of messaged you, and I actually went to go check out your channel and see what it was, and I really enjoyed the content. You seem like you take your time and like you're very knowledgeable of what you're doing. Can you tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel and the content you provide?
Yeah, so I actually started it in 2011, and I did it for about 5 or 6 years, and then I decided around 2016, I thought, I just kind of felt burnt out by it, and I was reviewing at that time. I was doing like talking about new albums that were coming out, and for a while it was fun, and but I kind of got bored with it, so I decided to walk away, and then I don't know, about a month or so ago, I just decided that I wanted to start making videos again. But I thought I would, because I'm a big fan of like classic rock and like older music, and as you get older, I'm 30, so as you get older, you kind of are not that interested in new music that comes out anymore. It's just a generational thing, I think, and it just happens with everybody. So I just got bored with listening to new music. So I thought, I really just want to talk about the music that I like. So so I've been doing it for about 3 weeks now, and I've been having a lot of fun. I've been into music since I was a kid. I remember when I was really little, I was into, like, my favorite was Elvis, and I'm also a musician, and I play guitar, and so basically my whole life and everything that I'm interested in is just music.
Okay, cool. Funny. As a child, I was not a big fan of music. There's very little that I enjoyed. But I kind of, I'm Hispanic, so I kind of grew up with the loud Latin music always around.
Oh yeah.
And it's not bad now that I kind of appreciate it more in my age now. But as a child, it's not like something you want to hear all the time in your face. Funny thing is, there was very little music that I did enjoy, and funny thing is, Elvis was one of my favorite artists as well. Yes. I really enjoyed some of his earlier works, and it's interesting, like what you were saying, as far as you grow, it's a thing that happens with different generations. You seem to appreciate music of different types. As far as like the newer music, it's kind of hard for me to get into some of the more of the, because how do I explain this? For me, for the most part, I enjoy almost every type of genre of music except country. Mm-hmm. So like I dabble in every little bit, but there, in every genre there's always this subgenre of music. So it's hard for me. So because I kind of I would say my safety net of music would be like the old school classic rock, some disco, and old school rap. That would be my safety net for music. Cool. But like let's talk a little bit music first. Like, so yeah, you said you really got into it early on. What kind of evolved from time to time then?
Well, I think so. When I was about 8 years old, or 7 actually, I met my best friend, and his father had passed away when he was very young, and his father was a musician, And when his father was in the hospital, his mom and their family really got to know the nurse that was taking care of him and their family. And I think there was about a 2-hour drive from the hospital to their hometown. So on the way, and they would drive them back, and on the way they would play music in the car, and he really got into Tom Petty. And he became obsessed with Tom Petty and everything about it. And so when I met him, he inevitably asked me, like, do you know Tom Petty? And I said, yeah, I think my dad has a couple of his CDs at home. And so that day after school, I went home and I listened to the 2 CDs that we had. It was Into the Great Wide Open and Wildflowers, which are 2 amazing albums. But my dad said, well, if you like those, you'll probably like the album Damn the Torpedoes. And so he went to the basement and got out his cassette collection from like the late 70s, early 80s, when he was like in his late teens and that around that time. And there was a lot of really cool like post-punk new wave stuff like Nick Lowe and Elvis Costello, the Boomtown Rats, and mixed in there was Damn the Torpedoes by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And so when I listened to that album and hearing the song Refugee, which is the first song on the album, something changed in me, and I knew at that moment that music was going to be a part of my life. And it's still my favorite album of all time. So that's really the biggest shift in my paradigm as far as music goes. And that's really when it awakened in me that I had been into music before, but that's when I knew that, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. That is really interesting. That such, that is a very serious, at least for your friend, that's a very serious moment in his life, and to kind of relate that to music, to use as a form of comfort, I would say. Yeah And then for you to kind of just then also like start to appreciate music. For me, I'll admit it. I like when I first started to really appreciate music. For me, was when Guitar Hero came out.
Okay.
That was for me because for me music wasn't really a thing. It was just background stuff for like it's on the radio or it's playing on movies or commercials. It was just there.
Right.
So when I saw Guitar Hero, for me, I was like, oh, it's a cool video game. You get the plastic guitar and you can try to emulate being a rock star. And when I got my chance, because my cousin had it, we played it, and I was like trying to play it, and you really had to pay attention to, well, the song, just the melody and everything, and then that's what really like, okay, I like this song, let me listen to it and keep playing. And then after that, I just started looking for the music itself outside the game, and like I want to hear it, and that for me was kind of the real focal point. So around when Guitar Hero was out, that was for me when I was like, yes, I kind of want to listen to more music. Then that just kind of opened my appreciation to music a little bit more.
Yeah, I remember when Guitar Hero came out, and because I was so young when I was into this music, I kind of, in school, I got kind of picked on a little bit because I wasn't listening to what the other kids were listening to. And then when Guitar Hero came out and everybody started to catch up and started listening to the music that I was listening to, and I was like, see, I told you it was good.
That's funny. I love that. It's funny because it's interesting. Some people can't really appreciate. I don't know. Everyone has different tastes, so I'm not gonna really judge people. So
yeah,
because like I said, I like a very wide variety of music. Like I can enjoy anything from classical to like heavy metal. Mm-hmm. And for some people that's just odd. Like like I've been to like big heavy metal concerts and mosh pits, but I've also seen like orchestras play classical music.
Right.
And I think for me, like I've been very fortunate to do this and see these and listen to it, that I appreciate it for its performance value, for the hard work that the people behind the music do it. And that's one of the reason, that's one part of the music that I enjoy, is the work that goes into the songs, the tracks. But no, yeah, it's it's funny that some people, like, after you tell them like this is a really good song, and then like nah, then a couple days a little later, some trend, like these days some trend comes out and it starts playing and repeat in the background, and like, you see, it is a good song, you know, everyone's liking it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how things are now. It's just a song will just trend somewhere or in some meme, and then it becomes something.
Yeah, and I find now too that it seems to come and go very fast. Whereas before, like a trend would last maybe a couple months, whereas now it's like a week. A trend lasting a week is a long time.
Oh God, yes. Oh, we're it's no longer that the quote unquote 15 minutes of fame. It's like you get like 5 seconds and then you move on. Like, you, unless you're like extremely popular or something, and it's relatable to a point. If it's just a quick funny thing, it just passes by. It's really surprising how fast our attention span has kind of shortened a little bit. Like, we're always just like wanting the next thing. But it's funny, like we say that with some of the content that's happening now, yet music can kind of, for the most part, can pass the test of time. So that's another great thing. And going back kind of to your channel, it's like, I like that you're kind of like, you've recently just come back onto it and you're reviewing. And I really like when I went to your channel and like I was trying to see what you did, I saw like your 2 latest ones, and then I went back a little bit to one of your earlier works, and I was like, I didn't really notice that you took a break. Besides you had a co-host, if I remember right, the one I saw.
Yeah, John. That's the guy that his father died. That's my best friend. That's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, like I'm really glad that you're trying to put out there that there's a lot of good music out there. Some people just kind of have to find it.
Yeah.
And luckily, there's someone who can kind of explain some of the things, not only about the music, but something about the artists and the things that are happening around them at that time.
Yeah, and just like I really like what you said, like timeless music. I just reviewed the album Harvest by Neil Young, and you probably have heard the song Old Man. And the reason I love that song is because it's about the story behind that song is it's about Neil Young bought this ranch in Northern California, and he still lives there today. And the song is about when he was 24 years old and comparing his life to this man who is much older than him. And what I love about that song came out in 1972, but you can listen to it now and still relate to it.
Okay.
So I like songs that don't necessarily reference like things that are happening now, but more that are more like this is what I'm experiencing, and this is probably what everybody experiences. That's what I like about music like that. Like, it's not necessarily, yes, it sounds like sonically it sounds like the 70s, but lyrically it could have been written yesterday and it's still relevant.
That's a good point right there, like lyrics wise, because like this last, I would say, the last 10-15 years, lyrics wise, like the pop genre has been so repetitive, and it's there are some hits in there here and there, but then there's just so much repetitiveness, so much copying that you can't remember what song is what, which when they have just the same meaning behind it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know how to.
Well,
No, go ahead.
well, and like technology for music is both a blessing and a curse, because now a band doesn't necessarily need to practice, because they can just put it through the computer and they can make all the drums perfectly in time. They can tune the guitars. Everybody knows about auto-tune, but I don't think people necessarily know that you can change the tempo of the drum so that it's exactly on the beat if the drummer is a little bit slow. You can fix everything. But I think what you lose is the human element of it. And it's okay, like when you hear, like, Led Zeppelin sounds different than Black Sabbath. They're very similar, but even without hearing Robert Plant or Ozzy Osbourne, just hearing the music, you know that it's them. And that's because it's the people that are making that music. Whereas now is one band sounds like another band because they process the music and they try to fix it and to make everything correct. But what people don't realize, it's rock and roll isn't about being correct. It's about the attitude behind it.
That's a good way. That's a good way to put it. I like that. I actually like that statement. But no, yeah, that is a good way. Like I have a couple of buddies who, for the last, so almost 8 years now that I've known them, they've been they've been a band for longer than I've known them. But when I met them, they've been working their butts off to put together like their own personal album and try to get onto the stage. Like I live in the Portland area, and it's heavy with bands trying to get out there. It's a very is the indie scene the proper term? I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, there's so many local bands and out there. There's so many opportunities, and like I've been hoping for the best of them. And luckily, their type of genre, they do the. I don't want to be wrong. I forget if they play heavy metal or black metal. I forget what genre, but luckily that type of music is pretty positive in this area.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it. A lot of people like it. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
But
No, that's cool. And yeah, but it's, I think because of the internet now, it's easier to get your music out there, and you don't necessarily need to have a record label behind you.
oh no, yeah. Thank you for, what is it? SoundCloud, and what's the other? There's one other site. I can't remember the other site now. The other music site that people post to.
Well, I know now, like, you don't need to have a record label to submit a song to iTunes.
Mm-mm.
Like, anybody can do it.
So.
But yeah, but also I think because of that, it's easy to get lost in the shuffle because so many people are doing it.
Yes. So I think as far as like people who are trying to actually begin and doing that, it's good that there is an online exposure, but trying to get yourself out there like the old days and perform and on live stages is a great way to do it as well.
Yeah.
But so is there like we've been talking kind of in the rock genre, is there any other music, any other genre of music that you enjoyed listening as well?
Well, I like a lot of blues. I do like some country. Getting back to your point of not liking country, and I think there might be some country that you might like. You might like alternative country, and maybe some of the outlaw movement, like Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard and those people. Because their lyrics are really cool and interesting, and they kind of go against the pop country that you hear today. And it's coming from a more honest place. But yeah, rock is mostly what I listen to.
Okay. So let's see here. So, okay, let's go with this. If you had to pick your iPod back in the day, and you picked 5 bands or groups to put on that iPod and their music, what would it be?
It would be Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers would be number 1. The Black Crowes. There's a band in Canada that you probably haven't heard of. They're big here, but I don't think they're popular in the States. They're called Sloan. That would go with the Beatles. And number 5 has always been... I keep going back and forth on number 5 between either the Police or the Rolling Stones.
Ooh, okay. Like, funny thing is, I'm a really big Police fan. Like,
Oh yeah?
Yes. Their music for me, I think, like going back to Rock Band, their songs, I don't know. I really enjoyed the melody on a lot of their music. So my goal for a lot of the times when playing Rock Band or Guitar Hero was trying to master them on expert, just
Right.
their music, and there had been many of nights that I've almost destroyed my plastic guitar. But playing them and repeat didn't ruin the music for me. Because I
No.
genuinely liked the song I was playing from them.
Yeah, and the thing about the Police is like in the 70s when they came out, they were considered a punk band, but they had this background in jazz. So they were playing 3-chord punk music, but the 3 chords were like augmented chords and 7th chords and stuff like that. And the drummer, Stewart Copeland, he grew up in Lebanon. And so he had this sort of almost reggae sort of influence. So it really creates an interesting sound between the guitar player Andy Summers, who has a jazz background, and playing against this reggae beat. And then Sting's vocals obviously are very, very distinctive.
Yeah, but oh god, like I like you. Sorry, I'm trying to think of something, but like you're very knowledgeable as far as music and the people around it. From what I can tell. Because as for me, I'm like the average Joe that just enjoys the music, and I can do little nibbits of different things that I've kind of dug deeper. What kind of got you a little bit deeper into music? Like I know how you started to appreciate it, but what kind of got you into learning a little bit more in the background of these bands and things like that?
So when I was about 10 or 11, Canada had a music station very much like MTV. It was called Much Music. And then and they always played new music, and I watched it because I was into music, but they weren't really playing the stuff that I liked. And then all of a sudden we got a new station called Much More Music, which was a lot like VH1. And they started playing stuff from the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s. And so I watched it constantly, just wanting to hear the music that I wanted to see the videos and see what the people looked like to the music that I had been hearing. And the other interesting thing that they did is they started playing Behind the Music, which is like a biography show about musicians. And so I would watch that constantly, just learning everything that I could. And yeah, that's basically how it happened. That was my education in music, is just watching too many episodes of Behind the Music.
I'm not gonna lie, that is a good way to learn, because there's the information and you retained it because it's something actually you enjoyed. That's cool. I like that. And I kind of miss those days back when MTV and VH1, and at least in the States, were actually what they used to be, something for music and videos, and now not this trash we have these days.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't even want to dive into that. But for anyone listening out there, yes, VH1 and MTV were actually music, not like we old farts say. Like it was actually something good.
Yeah.
But let's steer away from that. That's a whole kerfuffle. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah.
So actually, I wanna actually talk a little bit about your time on YouTube and your looks like your comeback actually. What got you first started into doing your YouTube channel?
So I never really used YouTube the way it was intended. I always looked up, again, just looking up music videos. And like I said, one of my favorite bands was, it still is, the Black Crowes. And at the time, they were going on hiatus. And so, but I was just looking for live performances from them, because they have a taping policy at their shows where they allow people to tape their shows and trade between fans, and there's a lot of professionally shot live footage of them that gets played on like German TV and stuff like that. So I was just looking for videos of them, and there was this YouTube channel called the Rock It Out blog. I think he's not doing it anymore, but it was a music news channel, and I was watching. He was because I was typing in the Black Crowes. He was reporting on the Black Crowes going on hiatus, and so I started watching this channel, and I thought, this is really cool. This is, because I didn't know that people did that on YouTube. I just thought people just like uploaded videos, because I remember back in the day of like LimeWire and stuff, like downloading music videos and stuff like that. So I thought when YouTube came along, I thought, oh, this is what YouTube is for. But I didn't really know that I didn't know about the concept of a YouTuber. So when I discovered that, I thought, oh, this is really cool. Someone's actually doing like a news show on YouTube. That's really interesting. And so I got into that, and then obviously I discovered all the other YouTubers, because just by proxy, and I thought, okay, maybe I could kind of do this, because I'm really into music and I know quite a bit about it. So that's why I chose the name Polyphonic Press, because the word press is like a news type of thing, and then but I found that I wasn't really interested in keeping up with music current events. And I thought, well, this guy's already doing it. There's no point in me doing the same thing that he's doing. And then at the same time, he did a collaboration with The Needle Drop, who does album reviews. And I remember thinking, well, that's stupid. Why would you want to watch a video of an album review? Because in my mind, album reviews were always like articles in magazines and on blogs. But then the more I watched it, the more I thought, oh, okay, this is what I want to do. Because he's reviewing albums he wasn't reviewing albums that were coming out that I was into. Like I was into like all these blues artists that were coming out, where they were coming out with albums, and so I saw a slot that I could fill, and I thought, okay, I could talk about the albums that he's not talking about, and I could bring attention to those albums. And so that's kind of what got me started on it.
Okay, cool. I like that. That is one way to kind of really start building on top of not only your hobby but your passion, and just try to spread it. I kind of had I had a similar mentality when I was trying to do my thing. Except unlike you found yourself a way to kind of differentiate yourself from what back then was kind of probably just a niche here and there. I'm still in the I don't know what I am anymore, but I'm just everywhere. Honestly, like I don't know what I am as far as YouTube is concerned. I'm just there sometimes, but
yeah.
like there's one thing I want to ask is, like you said that you had a burnout, and that's something I personally had, even though I was just doing it for fun, but I myself had a slight burnout too, and kind of like stepped away. What was your kind of your moment for that? Because if I remember, you said that you were doing it with your buddy.
Yeah. So what happened was I started getting interested. I went back to school for web development around the same time that I quit, and I don't know. I just got tired of doing it. And I kind of put this pressure on myself because I know that there are people who do make a living on YouTube, and I really wanted to do that because I was living at home with my parents. I was working in a factory that I really didn't like, and I sort of put this pressure on myself to make YouTube my job. And the way that my brain works is the more that I feel that I have to do something, the less likely I am to do it. So I felt like, okay, I have to do a video because I have to make a living doing this. I have to do it because I have to. And one day I woke up and I just thought, I'm not enjoying this because of this pressure. And so I just decided to walk away from it. And what brought me back was, okay, so I've been at college for 2 years. I have this degree. I'm about to start a new career. So I'm still looking for a job in web development, but that's my main focus, really. I just want to talk about the music that I want to talk about. And if I happen to make YouTube my job, that's cool. But if it never happens, I still want to just enjoy talking about the music that I like. And so having that pressure taken off of me, it's become fun again. And it's just, I'm not worried about that aspect of it.
You know what's funny? I can relate. So with that, like from what I can tell, the YouTube kind of, or that feeling of making those videos felt like a job at that point, a job you weren't getting paid at that point. And it was just tedious. Like I felt that. I was actually going to, when I was doing my YouTube with my brother, like I was going to school and working 2 jobs and making videos, and it, in the back of my head, it like you, I was like, I gotta put out content. Like no, there was too much happening in my life, and I don't need that. I don't I was having fun, but I just didn't want that, like the pressure, like you said, of just like having to put something out. Like it just became horrible, and I stopped for probably a year and a half, maybe. The only reason I started up again, as far as like the silly YouTube videos that I make, was my brother left to the military, and like the way, so my channel, simply put, is just me reacting to different TV shows and talking about what my thoughts on that episode was. And that's kind of what, like, he tells me what show he's watching, and we like kind of like tell me, okay, and I'll check out the TV show, and that's kind of a way for him to let know, because he doesn't have the time to call, and so I'll have a video for him, like, here, this is what I thought about that TV show episode, and then when he has a moment, he'll have a chance to watch it, and then when he has a moment to call on the weekend, we can talk about that show, and like, yeah, you see, that's what I thought, and we can go from there. And that's kind of what I've been doing for now 8 months, just talking about TV shows and chatting with them, and then I've been surprisingly slowly growing again, and I was like, and it's been fun. I've recently slowly stopped because I'm in the moving process, the fun moving process. Yeah. So and doing this podcast gig too, and like I'm, like I said, I'm everywhere. I'm like podcasting, YouTube videos, working, all the shenanigans, life basically. You know, life.
Yeah.
For as far as YouTube is concerned and making videos, it's now just become a chance for me just to have fun and talk about TV shows with my brother and whoever out there is willing to listen to me.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what how you have to look at it. I think, and people like there's a YouTuber subreddit, obviously, and when I started, I thought, okay, I can do one video a week. I can do that, and I thought I'll have 4 videos ready to go before I even announce that I'm coming back. So then that way I can consistently put out videos every week, and if there's a week that I'm sick or for some reason that I can't make a video, I'll still be able to be consistent. And doing just the one video a week, I can write the script for a video, film it, and edit it all in one day. So it's only one day a week that I'm doing it. And people keep telling me that, oh, you have to do more than one video a week, otherwise you won't grow on YouTube. And I'm thinking, well, I don't really care. Like, I'm having fun doing this.
Sorry, it's funny because that's all it is really. We're still at that point where we're just enjoying. There's probably a lot of YouTubers at that point who just started enjoying making the videos. They weren't thinking of, oh, there's people, but like the general people, it's just them having fun.
Yeah,
you know, that's really what the YouTube community is, or should be. Even though these days it's not looking well for YouTube and their content creators, sadly, and a lot of people are moving away from that. But
yeah, I noticed a lot of people are more concerned with making money than making good content.
Yeah, there's I don't know. It's rough. Like, I have a good variety of people that I watch, and you got your generic people, the top with the millions, but I try to watch and find some of the more obscure ones and see what's out there, because you never know. That's what's fun about YouTube. There's billions of videos on there, and there's millions of people uploading, and you never know that you might find someone that you'll just click with.
Exactly. So,
like, honestly, like, your content, I really appreciate it because you, you're talking about music that I actually enjoy, and it's giving me information about not only the album, but the artist, and that's kind of cool because that just gives me a little bit of a, kind of that, what's the word? What is it? Like, shoot, bar quiz. Why can't I think of the proper term for that? A little pop quiz information that you never
trivia.
know. There you go, trivia.
Yeah.
Just a little trivia knowledge that you never know that might pop up, and like that. You never know when something like that can happen. Like, and it's just fun to know that.
Yeah, and that's really why I do it, because for me, I don't know everything about the artist, and so part of the fun of it is doing the research and learning about this album that I kind of know, but I don't necessarily know the background of it, and just because I'm doing a lot of learning with the process as well.
Whoa, excuse me.
Sorry.
But no, yeah, that's great, because then that you can showcase that to everyone, and it's really great because that's one way to show appreciation to the music and the people that you really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of your YouTube and your music. So what is another part of Jeremy that is outside of that?
One thing I really love to do, like, I live in Toronto, And I come from a smaller town outside of Toronto, about a 2-hour drive away. And my aunt used to live here, and I remember coming here, visiting her when I was a kid, and just being just awestruck by the tall buildings and everything. And just I just loved the big city, and I was kind of bored with the small town. I think a lot of people feel that way. And so since moving here, I moved back here to go to school, but I've stayed because this is really where the jobs are for web development. And so one thing that I absolutely love to do when on my days off, one thing that Toronto prides itself on is its public transit. And so we have a pretty good subway system. A lot of people complain about it. And it doesn't take you everywhere you need to go, but it's not bad. And so one of my favorite things to do, like on a day off, is just to pick a random spot on the subway and just walk around that neighborhood and just explore the city and just take everything in around me. That's one of my favorite things to do that isn't related to music at all. Just sort of just experience the world as it is.
That's cool. I like that. Like, what's funny is I'm kind of the reverse. I grew up in the big city and moved away to kind of suburbia. Well, that was just kind of a family thing. But like I've gone from city to like nature everywhere. But I do see that appreciation to explore. So there we can share that. The closest big city is Portland for me, and God, I hate that place so much.
Oh, really?
Well, there's so much to do there, but like you were saying, you have for the most part a reasonable public transit, right? Yeah, there's nothing here. Like, it's horrible. I hate.
Oh, really?
For me, like there's a little like hot take and rant. I despise trying to go into that city. Like there's so many cool things to do over there, but I will try to avoid because the the layout of the streets are horrible. Parking is horrible. The people driving or on bicycles. Oh god, that's kind of my rant. It's just horrible to be in a vehicle over there. Like you honestly have to be living in the city and enjoy it. Because like I do like you, I do like to enjoy and explore the city, but if you're trying to just get into the city and like situate yourself, that's like a whole trip in itself. And that's my hot take. Okay, guys, there. It's over now. Anyone listening, but I do appreciate just the exploration of just our surroundings that we often don't really get to explore because these days it's behind a screen. Sadly, it's like everyone's just on their phones or on their computers or tablets, and really that's kind of been the thing lately.
Yeah, that's how I was in my hometown because there was really nothing else to do other than be on your computer or and watch YouTube all day or whatever. So I think because of that, I appreciate being where I am more because it's even if there's nothing to do in the city, there's always something to see, whether it's like a landmark like the CN Tower or just an interesting neighborhood like the architecture in the neighborhood or whatever.
Okay. No, yeah. Surprisingly, I know a couple people down in Canada. Thanks to this podcast, like I've gotten to know a good amount of people from around the world. Surprisingly.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So actually, talking to my Canadian friends, I'm thinking of taking a trip one day up there and just enjoying it because from what they tell me and what they've sent me as far as images, it's really nice and like I personally need to get out a little bit more. Like it's funny that we're sitting in front of our screens talking, but it's like I want to try to get a little bit outside more from my area, just my city or my state. I want to kind of go out more, a little bit more, and enjoy the world a little bit.
Yeah, well, you're in Portland, so you're not too far away from Vancouver, right?
No, not.
Yeah.
No.
I think, Vancouver's just on the other side of Seattle, just north of Seattle or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a couple hours, but it's not too far. It's just a good drive. But like I honestly just want to get out more. And luckily, as far as this podcast goes, as long as I have a mic and my laptop, I can do it anywhere.
There you go.
And internet. But
yeah,
there's free internet almost everywhere nowadays. Like
that's true.
So that's what the great thing about this show. So people, don't worry. I'll try to get you content as much as I can, as long as people want to talk. But no, for me, it's kind of the next level as far as my personal goals is kind of exploration a little bit.
Yeah.
But so as far as like, is there what are you looking forward to? Because I know you're trying to get into your work from your studies.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool to work for like a startup, like a tech company that's doing something really cool. To be there at the ground level and to sort of build a company. But really, what I like about web development is trying to work through a problem when you're trying to code, and it's not working, and then finally you do something, and this always happens to me, is you try something and you think, well, this isn't going to work, and then it does. And that's the best feeling in the world, is, oh, it finally works.
I know that. I know that feeling all too well. Like I have a background in technology. I have a degree in system administration and software development, and almost done, and probably won't ever get done, is my bachelor's in cybersecurity. But that's a whole fiasco in itself.
Oh yeah.
But no, like I as far as the coding and solving problems, I understand being stuck on a problem for so long and then just getting it and seeing like that's what it was. Yes, done, and it works. I love that feeling. I love that feeling in anything when you get it to do what you wanted it to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that's interesting. Like for me, like I'm in that area where the job market for the tech jobs, like they're abundant, but it's rigorous since there's so many people trying to get those positions. How is it in your area?
I'm finding the same thing. Like I graduated in June, and I'm still looking for a front-end web developer job.
Damn. Then I share. We share each other's pain then. At the
Yeah.
But it's hard because I've talked about this before, but it's hard when a company is not only looking for your education but for your experience, and it's hard to build that experience when they won't take you.
Exactly. It's like I apply anyway, but a lot of the job postings are like 3 to 5 years experience. It's like, well, but how am I supposed to get the experience without, you know what I mean? Like I just graduated. I don't have 3 years experience. Like give me a chance and I can prove myself. But I guess it's they want to make sure the person that they're hiring knows what they're doing. But I can see it from there and why they do it. But it would be nice if they gave fresh people a chance.
I know, right? Oh God, I know that because as far as trying to find a job in the tech field, I've been trying at least for 2 years, and like for me, at least at this point in my life, most of the jobs and the amount they're willing to pay, I can't accept because it wouldn't sustain my living for all the debt that I have from going to school. So there's like a certain amount from what I'm making right now in my current job that I'm willing to lose. Right. Like, yes, I can take this pay cut, but most of the jobs that will take me is way below that, and there is no way that I would be able to, well, have a roof over my head or food to eat.
Right.
So, and that's what's frustrating is that from, at least for me, that is like I want to use the degrees that I spent my time and money to do, but they're not willing to do it, and it's, for me, it's frustrating because like I know the stuff. I know they're looking for the experience, but like you said, it's like I get it. They want some level of security from their end, but it's frustrating when you kind of pigeonhole yourself in a job, mostly with that level of debt. I don't know how the education system in Canada is as far as higher education, but I'm in debt for at least the next 10 years or so.
Yeah. Well, it's your loan is through the government, and it is still a loan, but they have it now so that if you're making less than $20,000 a year, you don't have to pay it back. So once you make more than $20,000 a year, then you start have to paying it back. But if you're making less than that, it's sort of like an extension.
Okay. God damn it, that sounds really good right now.
I mean, it would be even better if we had like, I think it's Finland, where like post-secondary education is just, that's just what you do. It's like, it's part of the curriculum. It's part of the school system.
Yeah, actually, I think I remember listening to one of my buddies' podcasts. He had what was it? He was talking to a guy from Sweden. They do the same thing. Their education system is also like secondary classes are also paid by the government for you to go and study. And like, damn, God, so many other countries have it right.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Like, the news for our country and their leaders, it's all beyond bonkers. So I'm not going to get into that, but I know we're not going to get anything fixed, at least in the next couple of years.
Not anytime soon.
So I'm not going to really think about that. Let's go into some positives. So like, you like exploring. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Well, I work at a movie theater part-time right now, so I like watching movies.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, the new Halloween movie is really good.
I'm from the time of this recording, since it is Halloween, so it's Halloween the day we're recording. I'm going to be seeing that tonight.
Oh, it's really good. So it's do you know much about it?
Just the trailer. I've only seen the 2 trailers that got released. That's as much as I've seen about it. Okay,
so you've seen the first Halloween, the one they put out in the 70s, right?
I've seen most of the Halloweens, even that crappy H2O one.
Right. So what they've done is this is just a continuation from the first one. They've completely ignored all the sequels, and this just picks up 40 years after the first movie. So like all this, the supernatural stuff and the Michael Myers being her brother, they've put all of that aside, and it's just picking up after 1978.
Okay, so I should just at least kind of refresh myself with the first movie, just to kind of, well, I for the most part I do enjoy the classics, so that wouldn't be bad to at least watch before I guess. So that's good. That's good to know, because then I only have to watch one movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. I like that premise. That's going to be interesting. All right. So as for your opinion, without kind of spoiling it too much, what were your kind of thoughts of that movie? Because like we're in that time where a lot of sequels are happening, and some of them aren't that great. Your opinion, because you already kind of said that you really enjoyed it. Like what did you enjoy about it?
I thought it was really well done. I thought it made sense as a sequel. and it's sort of like the next generation almost, but still keeping the same characters. Yeah, I thought it was really well done, and John Carpenter, they did it with John Carpenter's blessing. They didn't just go off and make another Halloween movie. He approved everything and approved the script, and actually Danny McBride actually co-wrote the script to this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I thought it was really well done, and it made sense as a sequel to the first movie.
Perfect. Now I kind of want to see the first movie, then head into it just to kind of get that feeling a little bit.
Yeah,
that's nice. So we're getting to the end of the year. So this year has been bustling with films. Is there any movies that really stick out to you that you've seen? Because there's been a lot, and I'm trying to think myself, what have I watched that it kind of sticks up?
There was a movie. It came out not too long ago. It was called White Boy Rick.
Oh yeah, I saw so many trailers for that.
That was really well done. Yeah, I really like that.
Can you explain the premise for the people listening?
Yeah, so it's a true story, and I can't remember. It takes place in the 80s, and it's just kind of about the sort of, I don't want to use the term white trash, but that's kind of what it's about.
Well, you can speak whatever you want. This space is for whatever you want to say. So go for it.
So yeah, it's kind of about the lower class white people in Detroit in the 80s, and just the struggles that go through, and just like there's just how life was back in the 80s. In Detroit, it's gotten a little better, but it was really rough back then. So I thought it was interesting watching that.
Okay. Because I've seen that trailer keep popping up when I watch YouTube videos, and it looks humorous, and I don't know, it's not like I didn't want to watch it, but it's not something that like I need to watch it, you know?
Yeah.
What got you to see the film?
Just working at the theater and people saying that it was really good. And I thought, okay, I'll take it, because I can go there and watch movies for free. So I thought, well, I might as well.
I had a buddy that worked in the theater, so once a week he would just get me in with his guest pass, and we would watch films, and that's kind of, so I understand that. That's a good thing too. And earlier this year, the whole movie pass thing that was happening.
No, I didn't know about that. What happened?
So a quick movie pass thing. Movie pass is a program where it's a subscription where you can go see a movie, or at least back in the days, like you can go see a movie once a day, any movie, and so basically you can see a film every day, and you just pay this one fee. Mm-hmm. That's it. And I kind of, for last year and the beginning of this year, I was kind of seeing almost every movie I could, because I could see, I think when and not Infinity was one of those Marvel films, I ended up seeing it 4 times because I could see it, and I didn't have to pay. I only paid my subscription and I was done. So I had the ability to go see films for, I think it was $10 a month.
Oh wow.
So it's changed a lot now. Now the subscription is reasonable. You can see, it's still about, I think it's $12 American, and you can see three films a month, which is still reasonable. If you watch 3 films in 1 month, it pays for itself at that point. Yeah,
that's one movie a week, and then you just pay for the other movie.
Exactly. So it's not too bad. So, and we're kind of at the at least like summer's when all the big hits happen, so you might have to pay extra to go see another film. But I think right now we're in the fall and winter season. We're getting to kind of the where you're really picking your films and seeing, because there is a lot of like mainstream movies out there, but I would say White Boy Rick is one of those like obscure films that you kind of like you see it and you're like wondering like what is it and do I want to watch it. And that's like I've seen myself because of Movie Pass. I've been fortunate to go see some of these more obscure films from different companies that I normally wouldn't watch.
That's cool. We don't have anything like that here, I don't think. There's a company called Cineplex, and they seem to have the monopoly on movie theaters. The theater I work at isn't as Cineplex, but they seem to dominate here in Canada.
Okay, but no, that's kind of how that was my fortune. Luckily for movies, at least a year ago. Now I kind of slowed down as far as movie watching. I would say I burnt myself out on movies.
Yeah.
Going every day or going like when I had a chance and there was a movie I wanted to watch. But now I kind of just go once a month. And for me, the Movie Pass is still relevant enough where like I pay $12. I use it to pay for my one ticket. Maybe I'll go see another. But cool. I'm fine with that, you know. But that's kind of the Movie Pass situation. But like that films, is there any film coming up that you're interested in watching? Because now we're kind of getting into like November and December.
Yeah, not really. A lot of them are the movies that are coming out from now to the end of the year. A lot of them are going to be like family Christmas movies, which there's nothing wrong with those, but there's nothing that I'm really excited to see it.
No, everything kind of over now, really.
Yeah.
Like I think the only thing really for me is like the family movie Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of like the only thing popping up in my head right now. Yeah, that's kind of it. The only other thing that I kind of want to see is maybe Aquaman, but that's kind of a hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
But that's just because I'm still hoping for something for that franchise, but
yeah, they haven't been doing too well lately.
No, and I don't know, and mostly with all the rumors of Henry Cavill leaving and Ben Affleck leaving. I don't know.
Yeah.
That like, well, you work in a movie theater. How like, and you enjoy films. Like, what are your thoughts on this superhero genre in films?
I think it's gotten too big. I think I understand why people like the Marvel universe, but it's become so difficult to follow, and it's just like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened, and it's just like the story kind of gets lost in the huge universe that they've created. It's cool, and it's cool that how they cross over in each film and everything, but it's as a story as a whole, it can be kind of hard to follow. So I think it's gotten just a little too big.
Yes, I can see that. It's literally become someone's lifetime now. You literally have to have either lived in that lifetime or sit down and make it your life for X amount of hours.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's a lot. And then at least as Marvel, there's a lot. And as far as DC, and I've had this discussion many times, that they just rush too much to do too much at once. And I think that not only put a lot of pressure on their writers and their directors and their actors, and just it's rough.
Yeah, well, with DC, I think, I think what they're trying to compete with Marvel by like you said, rushing to create the DC universe in films, and I think they're just doing they're doing a sloppy job of it. Whereas with Marvel, they took a long time to plan everything out, and whereas DC, it just seems like they're slapping it together.
Yeah, it's just sad thinking about it. Like for me, I enjoy the Marvel films for the most part, and I like what they're doing. But like for me, some of my favorite heroes are Superman and Batman, and like I enjoy seeing them on the big screen or even animated. But I like what they stand for. So hoping for what they were when I heard this, they were gonna do something similar to Marvel. You want something big like the Justice League eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're seeing it like this, it hurts. Like at least for a fan, it hurts a lot to watch and to see it struggle. It's disappointing and
Yeah, and like I don't know, 10 years ago or so, when they had like Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight
ooh,
Rises, it seemed like they were going in the right direction with that and making it more of a serious thing. Whereas now with like Batman versus Superman and all the other ones, they're more like cartoons in a way.
yeah. Oh God. Sometimes I kind of just wish because here's a fun note because like as far as the live action, like Marvel is winning, but like DC does a really good job with all their animated films.
Mm-hmm.
They're top notch on that. I wish they kind of stepped away a little bit from live action and kind of just worked with their animated division and just kind of pumped out that because they could work really well. And I get there's a budget for that too, but they put so much money into paying for actors and everything that I think they could do something great with just the animated stuff, and that can be their thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and like and they could instead of trying to compete with Marvel and trying to outdo them, they would be doing their own thing, and people like they wouldn't necessarily be competing, and they could win in the animated world because Marvel doesn't really do that. I mean, I know they're starting to with the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out.
Oh
But
yeah, I completely forgot about that.
yeah,
I want to see that one. See
but
now there
yeah,
Marvel's already taking a jump into it now.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God. Oh my God. Just I don't know. As far as the superhero movies are, for me, I'm a bit burnt out, but I'll watch them. Not as hardy as I did before, but like if it's still out, I'll go see it at least once.
Yeah.
But they kind of need to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think with getting back to what we were talking about with YouTube, I think DC saw how much money Marvel was making and think, oh, okay, we got to do this now. And it seemed like they were doing it just to make a profit at the box office rather than making quality films. Which, I mean,
Yes.
I know that's what all the movies are about anyway, but Marvel seems to put an effort into actually making a good film, whereas DC, it seemed like, okay, we'll just hire some writers, we'll crank out a script and then film it and then just put it out.
Yeah, and it feels like it sometimes, and it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
But okay. Ooh, okay. So it looks like we're kind of getting to the end time for this.
All right.
So this is the Convoluted Podcast, and we
Mm-hmm.
like our guests to share a story about the weirdest, strangest, most convoluted thing that you have ever seen, ever done, or have ever encountered.
Okay. All right. So this happened when I was about 15 or 16 years old. Now, I want to say that I wasn't drinking the night before. I was completely sober. But for some reason, I woke up around 11 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know why, but I wanted some chocolate sauce. I looked in the kitchen. I was home alone. Looked in the kitchen. We didn't have any chocolate sauce, but we had chocolate chips. So I thought, okay, I'll just put them in a dish and put them in the microwave, melt them, and that's kind of like chocolate sauce. So I put them in the microwave for 3 minutes on high. And I came back into the kitchen. Smoke was coming out of the microwave. I thought, oh, shit. This is not good. So I opened up all the windows to get rid of the smoke smell. And I had this like burnt mass of chocolate chips. And I thought, okay, I need to get rid of this somehow. I know, I'll just flush it down the toilet. It's fine. Well, as soon as the chocolate chips hit the cold water of the toilet, it solidified and basically became a rock. But I didn't know this at the time. So I flushed it, and it went down about to the point where I couldn't see it, but it got stuck in the toilet. And I didn't know what to do. So I'm flushing the toilet, I'm trying a plunger, I'm sticking knives down there, scissors, like anything that I can try to get this. I remember screaming, saying, either come up or go down. I don't care. Just loosen up. I was trying everything. So finally I decided, okay, well, I need some water pressure. So I went to the back of the house, got the hose, but the hose was right underneath the bathroom window. But the window was too high that I couldn't feed it through the window. My brother's room was just beside the bathroom, and thankfully his window was a little lower. So I had the hose going into my brother's bedroom window, through his bedroom, out into the hallway and into the bathroom, and trying to, with the water pressure of the hose, trying to get rid of this rock of burnt up chocolate chips. And it wasn't working. And I remembered calling my mom at work and just like in hysterics, like I really screwed up here. And we didn't have a lot of money, and I knew it was costly, and I didn't want that on me, but I knew that it was going to be. So finally, my grandfather came around and got his like plumber's snake, and it took him a long time to loosen it up too, and finally he got it. But man, that was one of the most stressful things that happened in my life. It's funny now, but at the time I was panicking.
Damn. Wow. Like, listening to that kind of had me in a panic. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. At that age, that level of stress, fuck, man. Like,
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh, like, I don't know. That's so weird. It's like you have a hankering for some chocolate, and then like chocolate to clogged toilet. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh wow, dude, that must have sucked for that moment in life, man.
Oh, it was. I was so worried about what was going to happen. No, I wasn't so much worried about whether I was going to get in trouble. I didn't want, like I knew a plumber was going to cost a lot of money, and I knew we didn't have a lot of money. So that's what I was mostly worried about. It's like, what's going to happen? Are we going to be okay? Like financially.
That's hard, mostly at that age when you're thinking that. No, actually, what's funny is that's kind of something that, that's kind of something that I share with my family too, and the rest of my siblings. We kind of really like think about like, this is, if we do something stupid, we can't hurt ourselves because we're not going to the doctors.
Right.
So yeah, I feel that sentiment as well. Like damn. But no, thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna finish this up with the game show portion.
All right.
Intro music here. you decided to play Would You Rather.
Yes.
So simply put, you're going to be put into two situations, and you're going to have to tell me why you would choose one over the other. We're going to have 2 rounds of these.
Okay.
And when I tell you the scenario situations, you can ask me any questions to kind of elaborate a little bit more. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, round 1. Would you rather have your floor made of loaded firearms, or you acquire a job as a kindergarten teacher, but all your students have knives?
Okay. The firearms are the fire. Is the safety on or off?
Random.
Oh, kindergartners. Because I feel like it could be a learning opportunity to teach them about the knives and to teach them about the safety that goes behind them. And I could, because I'm smarter than a 5-year-old, I can sort of manipulate the situation so that they don't attack me. But the firearms, I just wouldn't be able to walk anywhere in my house.
Okay. All right. Is that your final choice?
That's my final choice.
All right. That works. You are now a kindergarten teacher. Best of luck on that one.
All right.
Oh, that. Thank you. That's pretty elaborate way of thinking that situation out. All right. Round 2. All right. Anytime anyone sneezes, they must do it in your face. Or everyone around you thinks you killed Jesus.
I would rather have people sneeze in my face, because there's a lot of crazy people out there. I don't want to. Okay, so wait a minute. For Jesus, are we talking about you?
I get that question a lot. No.
Or Jesus Christ.
The Christian one.
Okay. So there's a lot of insane people out there. So everyone thinking that I killed Jesus, I would be dead within 15 minutes. I would have to go seek asylum. I would have to basically go into hiding, and that wouldn't be fun. But people sneezing in my face, I mean, yeah, they could have a disease, but if I'm feeling symptoms, I could just go to the doctor and have that taken care of for the most part. Yeah, I would get wet sometimes, but I think that's better than having a bunch of fanatics after you.
All right. You avoided being a Judas.
Yes.
All right, man. You worked your way around that problem. All right, then that's kind of the end of that. Hope you had fun at that part. Those are some pretty interesting situations you were kind of put into.
Yeah.
But at least you worked your way out of those, or you worked your way out of one over the other.
Yeah.
So we're at the end of the portion where we let our guests kind of shout out any of their stuff and let them know, where they can find you, so you can plug in all your stuff here.
Yeah, you can find me at youtube.com/Polyphonic Press. That's where my main content is, and you can I do album reviews of classic albums every Tuesday, and that's mainly where I am.
Yeah, go ahead and go check him out. I highly recommend it. Like, I enjoyed his your revamp, from what I can tell.
Yes,
I really enjoyed it myself, and thank you for taking the time to having this conversation with me.
Oh, of course. Yeah, thank you for having me.
So once again, everyone, thank you for listening. Remember, you can always find me, just look me up, Tyrant Dominus, Instagram, Twitter, and go hunt down Jeremy. Don't worry, he didn't kill Jesus. Check out his YouTube channel, and thank you for listening. Bye.
If you could do them a favor and maybe tell a friend about the Convoluted podcast, they sure would appreciate it. My creator knows I don't. They don't market or advertise the show in any way. They rely entirely on word of mouth.